Hello, hello, hello. Just checking all the text working. Seems to be. Just waiting for me to pop up onto Facebook and checking YouTube as well. It should be saying that we're live. I can't see that we're live at the moment, so just let me check that. Don't want that. How are we all? We all good? Let's check Facebook page. Seems a bit odd. It's saying that I'm live. There we go. Just check the sound. Seems a bit odd. There we go. We're live. Good to go. Well, welcome. So today we're going to be talking about what winning founders do or will do differently in 2026 and why most won't. Excuse me. So we'll just go over to here. So most founders won't win in 2026, and here's the reason why. Every founder wants to grow their business, but very few actually prepare properly for it. And it took me a number of years to realise this. Each December, I see the same pattern happening with people that I'm working with or people that are coming in to work with me. And they tell themselves they'll sort the strategy after Christmas. They want to put their feet up, have a break for Christmas. It's understandable. And they'll sort it in the new year. The problem is January arrives and they're back to firefighting. They're back into the day-to-day and into the same routine and methodology of what they were doing the previous year. And this cycle repeats itself many, many times. 2026 is going to be different. It's going to start exposing a lot of people who take this behavior. And it's not about how hard you work. It's about how well you prepare for the year ahead. And the thing is Marshall Goldsmith wrote a book about this. It's not what you don't know, you don't know. And his book is What Got You Here Won't Get You There. And it's a great book. It's definitely worth a read. Again, it's by Marshall Goldsmith, one of the best forward-thinking people on the planet. What got you here won't get you there. And if you think about that for a second, sitting here now at the end of 2025, if you reflect back on 2024, did you do the same this year as you did last year? And did you get any difference? Did you show any change in your business whatsoever? Probably not if you did exactly the same things. Unless you completely leveraged one of those things and just did a lot more of it. You probably got the same results or similar results or worse results, because obviously 2025 has been a challenging, difficult year for a lot of SMEs. Let's change that. So if you don't know your strategy, your metrics, or your tactics, you're going to go on a journey in 2026 without setting your GPS, your coordinates, and you could end up anywhere. So think about it like this. If you got in your car and said, right, I'm going out, and you decided to just start driving, A, you wouldn't know where you were going, and B, you wouldn't know when you got there. or you had arrived at your destination because you haven't set one. Same with your business. If you don't set your coordinates, your GPS for 2026, you'll start the year, you won't know where you're going, and 2026 is going to be brutal for a lot of businesses with AI, with technology, automation becoming prevalent in virtually every industry. We really need to start looking at changing the way we think and changing the way that we plan. So, who am I? Why this matters? Why should you listen to me? My name's David Wood. For a quick bit of context, this isn't to impress, but to give you perspective. I've started my own businesses, started with £3,000, scaled that business to 24 million, sold it to an investment bank, to venture capitalists, and I ended up buying that business back as it was failing at 8 million revenue, and I rescaled it to 31 million pounds in annual revenue, and then sold it again. Those two journeys were very, very different. The second time round, I bought a business which was in total chaos. There was no clarity, but I moved it from chaos to clarity in 6 months. We went from losing money, £500,000 a year, to profitable in 4 months. We improved our cash flow by about £600,000 in a quarter, and we started to scale the business again. So I've seen what works. The first time round, the business worked really, really well, as in growth, but the internal workings of the business put a lot of strain on me, and I ended up with a breakdown. The second time round, scaled the business much faster, much quicker. The team took more responsibility, and less pressure and stress on myself, the founder, and the rest of the team, because everyone was sharing the burden. And that business grew faster than I could ever imagined, and we sold it again at 31 million. So I now partner with B2B businesses to help them install a foundation, a structure to regain control and scale their business without the stress, or with minimal stress. And everything I'm sharing today comes directly from what I've done in my own journeys, and what other winning founders are doing right now. So the truth about 2025 performance, and here's the reality really, most businesses don't evolve, they just keep repeating doing what they've done in the past. They do the same things the same way, thinking exactly the same, but expecting different results. But what got you here won't get you there, as I said before. If your structure, strategy and habits haven't changed, neither will your results. And this isn't about working harder, it's about working smarter, clearer and more intentionally. Without the structure, without the strategy, it turns into guesswork. And the first time I grew my business, we scaled. We were double or triple digit growth every single year. But what wasn't growing with us was the internal foundations to run the business. So we were starting to get challenges. They were masked very, very well by having a good team, but it should have been built completely differently to the way that it was built the first time round. And it's only after having both journeys, the journey where it was 100% entrepreneurial based, with no external input, versus the second time round I took on external advisors to help, and it run much smoother and quicker, like I say, with less stress. So 2026 is going to be completely different. It's going to separate the leaders from the laggers, and we're heading into a year where the market's sharper, competition are laser focused, they're working faster, but margins are thinner. Clients expect responsiveness, teams expect direction, and everyone expects everything right now. And if you don't deliver right now, you're going to be put to the back of the pile. And you need to start internally with your team first. Clients are number one, but if you look after your team, and I think it's Richard Branson who said it, look after your team, they'll look after everything else. It is true, but what does that mean exactly? Looking after your team, does it mean taking them on holiday, or does it mean giving them the right structure? And working with lots of people, I realised that my interpretation of what people wanted, everyone's different. So what I would have wanted as an employee years ago wasn't what other people wanted. And in fact, I offered one of my employees almost a double salary, a company car, a laptop, a mobile phone, um, to be a sales rep when they were just telesales to begin with. And it was a phenomenal step up, but they were absolutely credible for the job and would have done a great job. But they turned around and just said, I don't want that responsibility. I don't want to do that. I'm happy doing what I'm doing. So you have to look at your team first. You have to understand the dynamics in your team, who you've got in your team, what their aspirations are. Because if the team isn't aspirational like you are, then you're going to have a challenge. If they just want to plod along doing the same things and they're not willing to change and learn and stretch themselves a little bit, and you're wanting to grow your business, then that's a challenge that you need to address before you even look at how you can improve things for your customers and that. So clients expect more responsiveness. Team expect direction, and founders who don't have a clear plan will struggle to deliver that. And they'll spend the whole year reacting to things that are happening. If you've got a plan and you've got a clear plan and it's an actionable plan, and I'm not talking about War and Peace where you've got hundreds of pages of documents and analysis and all that sort of stuff. You need something that is usable on a day-to-day basis that everyone understands, so it's not onerous and it's easy to be flexible with, because the plans change. The winners will be ones who go in to 2026 with clarity and focus, knowing exactly what they're building towards. So all my clients now, if they haven't done it already, this week and next week, they are working on their 2026 annual goals, annual plan at a high level, first quarter, January, February, March, in detail of what they're going to be doing and what they expect those months to deliver, not just from a financial point of view, but from a action point of view, how they're going to improve their business, what are they going to improve to make the business work better structurally, but also make it work better financially, and also deliver better results for everyone, including the team, internal team, customers and suppliers. Okay. And then knowing exactly what they're building towards. They've got a vision and the team share that vision. So what winning founders do differently? The thing that they don't do is they don't wing it. They know exactly what success looks like, and by March, not just December, they know that they're on that journey, they're working towards their goals. They don't guess, they design their future. So they don't just turn up, wait for stuff to happen, be reaction, words gone from my mind. Be reactive, they are proactive. They take time to define where they're going, and what really moves the needle. So they look at what they've done over the last 12 months. They look at what they're going to start doing more of, what they're going to stop doing, what they're going to improve doing. Stop, start, improve. Stop, start, improve. There's one more. What is it? My mind's gone. Stop, start, and improve doing anyway are the three. There's one other which doesn't come to mind at the moment. And they align their people. They simplify priorities and they build clarity before they chase speed. There's a great book. find it. Not sure if you can see that. Dichotomy of Leadership, written by two US Navy SEALs, Jocko Willink and Leif Babin. They've also got another book, which is also really good about aligning teams. Which is also good about aligning teams and getting people on the same page and simplifying communication so everyone understands what's happening. And when you've got really good communication and a really good plan, the execution becomes 10 times easier than when you're all pulling in different directions. The other thing that it does is, if you've got the plan and the structure right, it creates a rhythm that keeps the business accountable and focused. So the three non-negotiables for 2026: focus, alignment, and execution. Focus is everything. A priority is nothing. So if I said to you, look around the room and find and count everything that's blue. If you look around the room and count everything that's blue, and then I asked you the question, how many red things did you see? You'd probably say none, or maybe one or two. If you go into a dark room and switch on a torch and shine the torch around the room, you only see where that torch is focused. And it's the same for your business. If you've thought about what you're going to do and what's going to get you to where you want to go, that gives you the focus and it gives you the energy to work on those things, which will move you forward faster. If you don't have that focus, if you don't have that written down and planned, you're focusing on everything. And like the saying goes, he who chases two rabbits catches none. The second thing is alignment. Everyone in your business should know what winning looks like and how they contribute towards winning. Another analogy that I use is, if you put people on a football pitch, removed the lines, removed the goals, gave them a ball and told them to play, they'd say, well, we don't know what we're playing. How do we win or lose? There's so many business owners that turn up and just tell their team to get on with doing whatever they're supposed to be doing transactionally, that they don't know what they're doing. They don't know whether they've had a good day or a bad day, or if they've moved forward or if they've gone backwards. So setting out the rules of the game, how they win, how they contribute to making that business work really, really well, is something that is overlooked and shouldn't be. And then the third one is execution. Having a great plan is great. Having the focus is really, really good. Having the alignment is excellent. You know, those three things are good in their own right. But if you don't execute, none of the above matters. So not just doing things, but doing the right things consistently. And another good book on consistency is The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. Give that a read. Because without consistency, you won't get the compounded impact of what you're doing. So consistency is key from the execution. Just those three can completely transform your business. What most founders get wrong, they plan for activity, not for outcomes. So most founders plan for the activity, not the outcomes. They fill their to-do lists, but never step back to define success properly. They set vague goals, like grow sales or improve marketing, which sounds good, but means nothing operationally. You need to have set goals. And SMART goals are the industry or business norm these days, so it's got to be specific, measurable, achievable or attainable, realistic and time bound. And then we have to evaluate and then reset. So we use smarter goals. So SMART being the specific, measurable, achievable. Start again. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. And then the ER on the end stands for evaluate. So look back over the last month, see what happened, and then readjust, and then go again. So setting vague goals like grow sales or improve marketing, they sound good, but they mean nothing operationally. Grow sales, could it be does it mean by a pound? Does it mean grow more, sell to more customers? Does it mean increase revenue? You want to take any ambiguity out of that plan, those goals. And without clarity and metrics, every action is guesswork, and guesswork doesn't scale. So again, with the clients that I work with, they have a set number of metrics that they have to work towards on a daily basis to prove that they are taking action to get them towards their goals. And just reading the slide, actually, mistake number one, they're confusing busy with productive. I've been guilty of this, and I'm sure lots of other people have been guilty of it as well. They've been they've been super busy, but when you look at it, is how much has delivered something to the business, and a lot of it probably is transactional stuff that they shouldn't be doing. The second one is building goals around hope, not numbers. So again, you can put words on a page, but if you haven't got any specific measurements to measure that against, then you may as well not have them at all. And then starting the year without a clear decision making framework is one of the biggest mistakes. Having something written down is better than nothing. And most plans fail by February. By February, because if you're in reactive mode, you've forgotten the plan that you've written in January or December. There's no accountability, there's no rhythm, and there's no visibility. People get busy, priorities shift, and the plan lives in a folder instead of in motion. It's normally in a top drawer somewhere gathering dust. It's not that the plan was wrong, it's that it was never truly owned, communicated, or actioned upon. And most of the time, if the plan isn't presented to your team, and your team have input into the plan, they probably won't buy into it 100% because they haven't had their thoughts heard and their feelings heard on that. So it's really important to get your team involved. In finalising the plan, you can have headlines of what you want to achieve, your aspirations as a business owner, but always involve your team in building out that plan in detail. And winning founders don't make that mistake. They embed, review, feedback, and focus into the weekly rhythm. And when I say weekly rhythm, that's the rhythm of priorities, actions, strategy, and having that structure of what their week looks like on a Sunday night. And their team should also know what their week ahead looks like on a Sunday night, not turn up on a Monday morning and wait for stuff to happen. So what you must have in place before January. Before January hits, you need 3 things locked in. A clear, measurable destination. What's your vision for the year? Not a vague wish, but a defined goal. You need a roadmap that connects every department. And role to that goal. So you've got your vision. You've then got your clear roadmap, how you're going to get there. But then you also need to think about the people that you've got in the business and what role they play in getting you to that goal. And if there's people within the business that don't get you to that goal, why are they there? And you need to review. You need a review rhythm that keeps everyone aligned and accountable. So I used to look at when I had my business. I had 55 people working for me. The business was turning over £31 million. We used to look at our numbers daily. We used to review weekly, and then monthly and quarterly as well. So we'd have a daily plan, a weekly plan, a monthly plan, a quarterly plan, and then an annual plan, with strategies across the business for improvement. And if any of those three are missing, you default to reactive, and then when you're reactive, you can't follow your direction that you're wanting to go in. It's really important to get this mapped out before you start. And the difference between chaos and control, chaos and control are separated by one thing, and that's visibility. Chaos happens when you don't know what's really happening or why. Control comes when everyone in your team has clarity on their priorities, on their progress, and on their purpose. And if they haven't got priorities, progress, or purpose, or know when they're progressing and what their purpose is, you normally find that they either check out or they're very disengaged. So you're not getting maximum benefit from them. It's in your interest to have everyone on the team 100% engaged in the business. And they take ownership of that as well. So that's releasing some stress and pressure from you as a business owner, business leader. And people say, well, I don't have time to do all this planning. Structure actually slows you down in the short term, but speeds you up and frees you up in the long term. Because when the team runs smoothly, you finally get to focus on growth. On growth again, like you did when you first started the business. And when I bought the business back, I knew that I had to do things differently. So I hired an EA, started putting these plans in place, which was my mentor's idea, is to how to structure the business. And I got 80% of my time back. I slowed down for a week or 2 weeks so I could focus on how I could improve things financially for the business, how we could grow sales, how we could lower costs, overheads, those sorts of things. But then how I could utilize the people in the business better for their strengths, so they enjoyed what they were doing more. They got more fun out of doing it, but they also took ownership for doing those things. And the business was transformed not overnight, but very, very quickly. So control isn't about doing more, it's about seeing more. As a business leader, you want to be reviewing rather than being transactional and actionable in the business. You want to be reviewing what's happening and then making decisions on that data. And chaos happens when strategy lives in your head, not your team's habits. So I've been there as well, first time round. You wake up in the morning, you go, oh, this is a great way this is a new product, a new service we can offer. You go in, you start doing it. Your team's looking at you going, like, what are you doing? Last week you said we're doing this, and this week you're doing that. So if it's not in your strategy, there's a reason it's not in your strategy. Yeah. And the reason for having the plan is to keep you on track. You can go off piste a little bit and things do change, but you don't really, if you've got a proper plan, you don't really need to go off piste. And the difference between 10% and 50% growth is how well you prepare. Now, bearing in mind, I started working with a company and we 4x their sales in 5 months just by being more focused and having a plan to do that 4 times. So now everything I've shared today covers why and what matters most for 2026. But if you're wondering how to actually implement this, that's exactly what we'll cover in my online workshop next week. It's called the 2026 Business Reset Workshop. We'll spend 2 hours together building your roadmap, setting measurable priorities, and creating your action plan for the year. Now, it would be an overview of your 12 months and a detailed Q1 plan. So if you're serious about heading into 2026 with clarity and confidence, and you want to start 2026 on the right foot and not being reactive like 2025, put in the comments below 2026 Business Reset Workshop, and I'll send you more information. And that's where you can start to see the transition from where you are now to where you want to be. Excuse me. So now it's your turn. What's your biggest barrier to planning effectively? Is it time? Is it you don't know where to start? Let me know in the comments as well, and I'll respond to the comments. Which of these points hits home the most from what we've just talked about? And if you really want to make a difference, and if you really want to see a transformation in the way that you run your business, so it runs smoother and better and has more control, then join the workshop to make this real for your business and for you. Your family will thank you. You'll have more time. They'll thank you because you have more time. You'll have more money. The business will grow, and it won't grow by putting more stress and pressure on you. It will grow in a way that you feel more confident and clear on what you're doing and how to make your decisions as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Like I say, drop the comment below 2026 Business Reset Workshop, and I'll send you the information. And also let me know what your biggest barriers are to planning effectively, and I'll cover that off in a future session. If there's anyone watching, let me know, and thank you for watching, and speak to you soon.